What's going on YouTube? You're watching DNS Fabrication and this is episode 8 of the Samurai build. So as you can see, we have a rear axle and 4 links under the Samurai connected and moving. And that's pretty exciting. It took us 7 episodes to get here, so definitely check those ones out if you haven't yet. There's a playlist on the channel containing all these videos. But today, we're getting a pretty big milestone ahead of us. Again, I feel like every video is a pretty good milestone. We're putting some tires underneath here. So these are 36.5, 14 wide swampers, and these will be used for mocking up the clearancing on the body of the Samurai. And that's what we need to do today. We've got to cut this off. Did you see these? Well, we fit the tires under the Samurai properly this time. Not like the first episode where they're just sitting there. These are actually functional, and they do allow for currently 6 inches of bump, almost 7 if I'm squeezing 7 in. And I think I can just get away with shaving a small amount of the tailgate on the rear, but I'll be able to keep most of the integrity of the body except for the comp cut style that I went for. I haven't always been a big fan of that comp cut style, but I think it's obviously required for the tires that I'm running. I don't think it looks all too bad. This will definitely clean up a lot better when I fix the paint. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this black stripe here that I had from the previous iteration. I don't know if I'll continue running this black stripe along here, or I might try to color match and repaint this quarter blue. Either way, it's gonna be covered in mud and scratches, so it's not a huge deal, but I do like those little bit of details there. Some big things that are chopped off our list from doing this is that we know that our tires are not rubbing on the lower link, the lower outside link. We also know that we have enough room to not cut a huge amount of the tailgate off. I also know that these tires are going to be wider than the ones that I'm wanting to run. However, they are also smaller in diameter. So these are measuring out a true height of 35 inches. So I'm gonna have to make sure that the tires I end up going with, I know their true height. And if they do end up being a full 37, then I do have to account for an extra 2 inches of clearance there. Also, these are really wide. They're probably gonna be an inch or 2 wider than the ones that I'm going to run. So there's a lot of offset outside of the vehicle that I may have to reduce. In addition, the wheel offset I can always play with. I can always get different wheels. But overall, this has been a great first pass. And a lot of those major issues have been checked off and aren't going to be a problem for me. So you can see that we're keeping about, I guess it's called about 3 inches of Samurai body up top. We cut away a good amount, and I'm sure you don't know, but I actually spent a very long time custom designing this back end of the Samurai. When I first bought the Samurai, it was an entire rust bucket. There was nearly no floors, no fenders. So today we did a lot of cutting of that custom work that I had done a few years ago. So it was a little bit heartbreaking seeing all the time and effort that I put into it and just hacking it away within seconds and minutes. But honestly, it is turning into a different style of vehicle now, and it's evolving into something different, and that's fine. I got all the good use out of it, and I'm still keeping a lot of the very important work because I essentially redid everything in the back behind the driver's seats. So I know I have a really solid platform to go off, and I really am just readjusting those wheel wells. You can see that we have about, I'm gonna call it 4 inches of tire poke out the rear. So when I build my rear bumper, I'm gonna probably try to keep the bumper sucked in within those tires. So if I back up to a wall, the tires will be the first thing to hit. One of the big things for me is keeping the integrity of this tailgate. So I basically trimmed as close as I could while keeping the structural integrity of this boxed in corner. I think we can hopefully keep it here. I'm probably gonna have to cut out parts of this because for one, it doesn't look that good. And then two, it is probably going to hit when this tire is at full compression. But for the most part, this is definitely in the ballpark that we're looking for. So this rear suspension is essentially finished for now. We are probably gonna do some frame stiffeners on the link mounts that connect to the frame. But aside from that, and a little bit of detailed work I'll do off camera, we're about to move on to the front of this axle. So I don't want to finalize too much on the back, and I don't want to cut any more on the back because I know that my major challenge is going to be with this front corner. I have a boundary of not wanting to cut too far into my Samurai grille, and I already know going into this that that's going to be an issue because it's very difficult to push the wheelbase as far forward as I am with having a tire at full compression and full lock of steering, that we're gonna be really colliding with the area that I'm trying to keep. So I'll likely be putting a lot of time into really trying to finesse how I can make that work and figure out whether I need to compromise on wheelbase or how that looks once we actually start get going on there. But in saying that, we've done a lot of pre-work. You can see maybe that I do have some PVC links that are sitting in here already. So we have spent some time, and I know the rough location of where these mounts need to be. So this should fall together fairly quickly. The time-consuming part is gonna be those final details, such as my pitman arm, my drag link, my new steering box mounting, as well as what I just mentioned with the colliding of the tire on the body and the front headlight assembly. I would like to mention that the Toyota TDI build that Nigel is running is currently put on pause right now. That's why you guys are getting another week of me. So you may get a little bit more Samurai content, and you may see a couple gaps and a few different postings of weeks here and there. But we'll be sure to keep you guys updated through the status on YouTube, and we're always gonna be pushing to get you guys as much content as we can. That's gonna be the end of this video, everyone. If you want more Samurai content and you haven't seen the previous episodes, definitely check those out. Otherwise, I hope you really like seeing these tires under here because it was a big milestone, and I can't wait to keep going on this build. We'll see you guys next time.